Hey devotees, so it is Friday. I'm Chandra Vadna Chaitanya Das, and I'm here with Bhakta Bryce.
Hi, how's it going?
So, you guys haven't really met Bhakta Bryce yet on the channel. So if you've watched any of the videos, and we don't have that many up, we've just started this channel a little bit ago. But we're just, we're here at the Bhakti House, and actually right now we're in the park getting ready to do kirtan. And so we just thought we would have some nice little discourse with you, kind of make this kind of fun, and just kind of give you some general information about us, kind of what we're up to, and kind of how kirtan is getting prepared for, and just a lot of really positive things. So anyways, I'm going to turn it over a little bit to Bhakta Bryce, and he can talk to you a little bit about like maybe his backstory, like how he came to the Bhakti House, and it's really a compelling story, and it's really touching in many respects. And I really like his perspective on how simple living and high thinking has really transformed his life from the kind of lifestyle and everything that he once had to what he is now, which is a monk here at the Bhakti House. And so, yeah, Bryce, why don't you talk to the audience a little bit and just tell them a little bit more about your backstory and yeah.
Well, I came kind of out of a business background, working 50, 60, 70, sometimes 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
That's pretty typical. But then after my wife died a couple years ago, I really felt like it just wasn't worth it to me. And I just, wanted to do other things. I wanted to have, a simpler life, one where, I just kind of focused on spiritual things rather than, just working all the time. Because that's, my wife and I both, that's all we did. We just worked, and, you just never know when you'd never know when your time's over.
How comfortable do you feel talking about kind of like what happened with her and everything? I know it's kind of painful.
So like, what year is it? It's 2005 or 2025. 2025. So in at the end of 2022, I was working actually and out of town, and it was in like the end of November or beginning of November, end of October, I think. And she called me up, and she was having a lot of pain and stuff in her abdomen. So so I told her, I was like, go to the emergency room. So she went to the emergency room, and they did a scan, and they found an 8-inch mass in her abdomen. And so she of course told me about it. I had, started making plans to come home, and maybe a day later, 2 days later, she called and said that, she was still having more pain. So I was like, well, go back to the emergency room, because they had set up a doctor's appointment, but she wasn't able to get there yet. So she went back, and they found some masses in her lungs as well when they did some more scans. So, she got, went to her doctors, went to an oncologist at the Moffitt Center, Cancer Center in Tampa, which is where we lived at the time. And so they, did all the biopsies and did all that stuff. And in January, the end of January, we went into Moffitt so she could do some radiation and some chemo.
Yeah.
But what we didn't actually, or at least I didn't, if she did, she didn't tell me, but I didn't understand it, that, I didn't understand that there was nothing they could actually do to help her. This was just palliative care to make her feel better. It wasn't actually going to do anything to reduce the cancer. So she, anyway, that she started the chemo. She got really sick off the chemo. They had to put her into a coma. And a month later, they were able to bring her out. Then she had to go to another hospital to get off of the ventilator. And then about a month and a half later, on April 7th, they brought her home. And then she passed away on April 8th. So it was a pretty quick process.
Yeah, I mean, that was just some months, right? Like maybe 6 months, something like that?
Five months, yeah.
From the time that you found out to the time that she actually passed.
Yeah, it was very quickly.
Wow, that's really painful.
In a month of that, she was in a coma.
Yeah, so it's not... And then the rest of the time, she's, on medication and different things.
Right, a good portion of that, she couldn't talk or anything like that because she had, the ventilator and And so even after she was out of the coma, she couldn't. Maybe it was only the last couple weeks that she could actually speak, So it was a rough time, but that just wasn't, the lifestyle I wanted to live. I didn't feel like it was. I don't know. There's just so many other things that are so much more important.
And isn't that the rat race that we get, the trap that many people find themselves in this material universe, this material world, is we get so caught up in the mundane everyday life of going to work and, spending all of this time doing these fruitless activities that aren't really helping our spiritual development or, just our everyday life for that matter. And it actually, in many ways, could be the very thing that's causing the diseases in the world and some of these other things happening, we put so much stress on ourselves, and that alone can add to the complication of just, life in general.
Right. Yeah, it definitely can.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now that you've been at the Bhakti Center and you've committed yourself, you've become a monk here. How is spiritual life? How is being a monk? It's not all fun and games, obviously. It's not like what a lot of people maybe envision it being, right? There's work, there's service and everything, but it's a different kind of attitude that we have toward that service, right?
Yeah. It's, the service that, you do it because you want to, because it's what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And, so, if you like cooking, you cook, we're able to go, we have a soup kitchen that we're going to do service at. We go to the food banks, do food service at different areas. So it's really, whatever you like doing.
Yeah.
You can do that service.
Yeah. And guys, also just to say too, there are so many different services that we do that it's not just like one service is for one person and this service is for another person and this is for another person. What we try to do here at the Bhakti Center, mainly for fairness, but also for education's sake, is it's to get people well equipped, so that you're more or less a jack of all trades, maybe a master of one or two here and there, or something that you're really like more driven, or it's maybe more your nature, more your drive. You guys know me, for quite a while now. My thing has been cooking a lot. So, I've cooked a lot for the different temples and many of the different ISKCON temples, growing up in India and cooking over there and stuff, learning from my parents and whatnot. I got a lot of education over there. And then I've worked a lot of restaurants, actually before spiritual life, even like in Indian cooking and different things. So I learned a lot of things through the work that I did, just never really cognizant of the fact that it was actually stuff that I was going to eventually port over into spiritual life. So it's like some of that early learning actually has come to really help me out, like as a monk and everything, and as I continue to try to do service and everything for Krishna and for his devotees and everything. And a big thing of bhakti, and you guys will hear us talk a lot about bhakti. In fact, we're the Bhakti House, and we're a nonprofit and everything here in Michigan. Right now we're working on the actual Bhakti Center. It's a mobile home that's kind of in disrepair right now. We're putting it together, trying to get this, trying to get it set up so that like before winter time comes, and winters here can be very harsh in Michigan. Bhakta Bryce, he actually grew up in Michigan over in, what is it, Midland, Michigan. So he grew up in Midland, and so he can tell you, he can really speak about the winters and the harshness here. Like
I've spent a long time though. I've been gone since I was 17. So
17, wow.
I haven't spent much time here since
Yeah,
then.
wow. So if you are, if you're the type of person that just you're committed, maybe your situation is, everybody's situation is a little bit different. Some of us are more engaged in like household activities and householder stage of life. Some of us have fully committed to like spiritual life and just kind of more or less surrendered over to the process of that type of commitment. But regardless of where you're at, the goal, you can have a meaningful and spiritual life regardless. I mean, you don't have to physically be a monk or, be engaged in doing the things that we do on a day-to-day basis and so on. You can actually commit yourself just in small ways to doing small spiritual activities and different things. And those small measures can actually help change your heart, can help you to to just make different decisions that you might not otherwise make, and to feel differently. And a lot of the things like the stress and the problems of mundane life and the things that we think are so important, that really, when you're fully engaged in spiritual life, you start to realize that these things were not really that important, and they're not that important. But in the time and in the moment and in the place that we find ourselves in, we're kind of brought into this light of thinking, yeah, this is so important, and this is what I really need to focus on, and I need to do this business, or I need to do this job, or I need to get myself a promotion, or I need to do this so that I can make more money, so that I can do more of this. And the reality is that nothing in this material world, and I mean absolutely nothing, lasts forever. You look at anything around you. The shirt that I have on right now, not a bad looking shirt, I think. I mean, some people may disagree, but this shirt one day will not be in existence, and if I still am, I'll be forced to wear a different shirt. I mean, that's just all there is to it. But where I was going with all of this is just to say that the time that we have now is what we really need to be concerned with. We need to be focused on the here and now, developing ourselves spiritually. If you have any kind of, we call them gunas, like anything that kind of is holding you back, that you feel is holding you back from just letting go and allowing yourself the space to just be, and getting more in tune with your higher self, your higher nature, God, spiritual self, whatever you want to call it, however you define it, regardless of your religion, your beliefs, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's not what we're so concerned with. It's really about having this change of heart. And when you look through all the different spiritual religions and beliefs and everything, when it talks about conversion or it talks about change and what people go through, it really comes to that light bulb switching off in a person's head that says, wait a minute, what am I doing? Where am I going? Like, why am I treading this path? Why have I chosen this route? And the reality is that we don't have to choose that route any longer. And when that light bulb goes off, and it does for many of us, I know it has for me, Bhakta Bryce over here knows it has for him. When that moment happens, that's true conversion. That's when you have a change of heart, and that's when you say to yourself, I don't want to be this type of person. I don't want to treat people this way. I really want to be heart-centered, soul-centered, and I really want to focus on doing more and being a better person and just really developing myself in a more meaningful way. And I'm sure there's better, more articulate ways of putting this, but hopefully you guys are getting on some level of understanding what I'm trying to express here. And a lot of what Bhakta Bryce has tried to express here in the same thing. So let's talk just for a moment, because actually Bhakta Bryce is he's our mridanga player here, and he's a really great mridanga player. And I've actually asked him, I'm putting him on the spot a little bit here now, but I've actually asked him if he would actually maybe teach us a little bit about the mridanga and different things, which we don't have time now because we have to get ready for the kirtan, but at some point he can maybe give some lessons or something through this channel and kind of help you, like I said this morning, if you watched the video this morning, just learning one or two small things that you can commit to daily practice, maybe 10 minutes a day, as I recommended earlier in the day, can really have just phenomenal results, like in terms of the way that your mindset works and, cleaning out some of this old trauma and different things that we hold on to and getting rid of some of the pain and some of the suffering and things that we've endured and coming to different realizations. So I'm going to let Bhakta Bryce talk a little bit about mridanga and maybe like what the plan might look like for that, because we haven't really discussed it too much. So you're getting this kind of raw footage here now, live.
Yeah. I don't really know what it is you're want me to do. But we will set up some stuff for the mridanga, and
just some basic lessons to teach people,
some basic stuff on how to get started, and just the basics of being able to something that will just allow you to be able to play for a kirtan, like if you find yourself in that situation to where you need to
or want to, it's more like desire,
or
like
to.
if you feel like God is, and to where you're not going to feel nervous about it, right? Like
no, I will. You always feel nervous about it.
Oh. Spoken like a true expert. Very humble guy here, Bhakta Bryce.
Always nervous about it. But yeah, something that'll give you enough to where you can do a kirtan for service and feel confident anyway.
Yeah, that's really great. Wow. So, what kind of work have you guys been doing? Oops, you got it.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I think we got it. I think we're both in the shot here now.
I'll just point it where I want you to go.
There he goes. So yeah. So what kind of services what have you been doing today? Like what kind of services and everything? Like just to give people just a rundown of like basic monk life. It's not all glamorous,
I've been working on the truck.
Oh yeah. So tell them a little bit about that.
So the oil, we lost oil pressure. We have an old diesel pickup truck, dually. We lost oil pressure in it. So I've been trying to figure out why. I think we need a new oil pump. So I've been trying to get the oil pan off.
Yeah.
It's challenging to get off. I've gotten it most of the way off, but then I found out that the exhaust, there's an exhaust pipe in the way. So now I have to get the exhaust pipe off.
Yeah.
So we've got an impact wrench now. So now I got to get back under there and try to get it off with the impact wrench because it's kind of rusted.
Yeah. And just to put it into perspective, like you actually reached out to an older gentleman. He was a Korean war vet, and he actually is the one that is helping you as far as the financials go for trying to get this up and going, right?
Yes.
And I mean, it's not a lot of money or anything like that, but he is like the impact wrench that you're using now is actually his, right?
Yes. Yep. And he ordered the new oil pump, and the new gasket for the oil pan, which should be here today, we think.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of get that together.
Yeah. And how long has the truck sat because there has been no funds or any help to get it going?
It's been several months, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and the truck is necessary for like moving things from like old debris and everything from the Bhakti House and getting it to the city dump and all these kind of things. And of course, it's not cheap taking things to the city dump, is it?
No, it's usually, $50 to $100 for every load that we take.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of stuff that needs to come out of the.
Yeah.
It's just cleaning it out. We had bags and bags and bags of trash were left inside the house. So
yeah,
it's just getting everything out of there. So then we can, strip everything down. We got to take all the coverings off the walls. We got to get the roof sealed so that it's not leaking because we have some leaks that are then causing the floor to rot. We got to take all the floor coverings off, replace the floors. We got to do all new wiring, maybe new plumbing. We're not sure about that. We'll find out once we get the floors out.
Yeah.
And then.
So what is the game plan? Do you think is it because you're more of the construction expert than I am? What would be first? Like maybe doing the wiring or?
Yeah, that would be. Well, I mean, obviously, first we got to get the seal. We got to get it so it's not leaking.
Got it.
That's got to be first we got to get all the trash out, which we're getting closer to that. Getting all the trash out, and once the truck is working, that'll make it a lot easier to do that.
Yeah.
Then make sure then get the roof sealed so that it's not leaking.
Yeah.
Then we'll strip the walls and get the wiring, get the electrical done because we do have to get it we need to get it up to code so we can get it inspected so we can get the electricity turned on because there's not even electricity there right now.
Yeah, and you've been living literally without electricity. You've been taking the Indian bucket baths.
Yes.
And very simple.
I mean, no electric, no water, no. We do have gas, so that's it's the only thing we have.
Yeah.
But no electric, no water, no sewage.
Yeah. So it's so here at the park though has been a blessing, right? Because we're right next door. You have the loo, the toilet, and everything here. The
right.
bathhouse.
We have electrical here, so I can charge phone and all that type of stuff can be done here.
Yeah.
Charge my laptop, stuff like that.
Wow, it's wonderful. Yeah. So it has been really beneficial.
Yes.
And yeah, and Bhakta Chris, he had a trailer and he was actually helping us, but then his truck had some problems also, and then the trailer, he wasn't able to get it out to this other property where he was able to burn it because of a burn permit issue or something like that, and so that kind of fell through. So we've ran into some hiccups. So like when we talk about spiritual life and we talk about living as monks, it's not always like really a glamorous, experience. Do we still go through all the spiritual practices and everything of waking up early during Brahma Murta and doing our rounds and chanting and having our program and our morning program and everything? Sure, we do all of that. Do we still do prasadam cooking, all these mundane things that we normally would do, right? Yes. But then on top of that, when you're getting a new center going and everything, and you're building community and getting things up and going, there is kind of like your whole day is pretty much planned. I mean, you are busy usually from the time that you get up early in the morning until the time that you go to bed, in the evening. So for many of you that have reached out, and I've maybe been a little less available, I apologize for that. But these are some of the things that we're trying to work through and get taken care of and everything. So, and we'll continue to do that. And what we want to do is keep people updated. We don't want to keep you guys in the dark. You are our community as well. Like, even if you're just virtually following us through YouTube, following us through the different social media channels, through the website, through the meetup group and everything that we have, you're just as important as any one of us. I mean, and we do value you, and we are here for you as servants to help you and to serve you. So if you need anything like spiritual development, anything like that, there are many different ways that you can reach out to us. You can email us. You can get us through this YouTube channel, through the comments, anything like that. And we're here for you. I mean, this is what we do. So don't be shy. Don't think that, we're just preoccupied with our own lives and doing this here thing. It's not about us. It's always about you. So that's the main thing that we want you guys to understand. It's through service that we really, want to kind of drive this thing and drive this channel and everything home. So anyways, we just wanted to put together this kind of video. And I also wanted to introduce you guys to Bhakta Bryce. Sometimes he's a little bit video shy, but he's not going to be for very much longer. I got a feeling of that. There's just so much to do. And, we want to share every aspect of everything that we're doing day to day with you guys and other devotees as well. But, we're pretty much on site here. We're the ones that are kind of more or less the day to day kind of in the trenches here as far as doing the local services and everything around Jackson in this area. The bigger community, they do come and help, and they're very much, available to us and stuff as another resource for help. But they're also doing service like in their respective areas, like in Ypsilanti, over in Mabee, Michigan, where we have the Goloka Prema Dham, the Goshala, the farm and everything. We have that area. This time of year, we start to run into the different festivals and everything as well. So like tomorrow, for example, over in Ypsilanti, one of the devotees is hosting a Swami over there. And so, we'll probably be over there around 12 o'clock noon and help out with that kirtan and that program as well. So like these are things that we're doing on top of all the other things that you see us doing here at the Bhakti House. And, we want to keep you guys in the loop and keep you clued in and everything. But, before we lose charge on this phone, maybe we'll end this video and then maybe we'll just walk around a little bit and show you guys the park. This is a really beautiful, it's a 90-something acre park. I think it's 91 or 92 acres, something like that. But it's a pretty good-sized park. There's walking paths here. There's trails. There are pavilions like you see here, like you can kind of see. And you'll notice we're getting ready for kirtan. I don't know if you can see that or not. It says Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. The Samaha mantra, so that during kirtan, people can actually see the actual sign. And so new people, when they want to join in the kirtan and all, it's kind of a help for them. Literally, it's just 2 dry erase markers that were donated to us, and another devotee actually donated a dry erase marker so that we could actually write on the dry erase board. So that was kind of cool. So we'll just go ahead and end this video now. The next video that we're going to add on to this, maybe like in the next video, like on YouTube here, we will have just kind of a walk through the park and kind of give you guys a little bit of just kind of explore things a little bit. But anyways, much love and many blessings. We will see you guys on the next episode. Thank you.